Hi there YouTube, this is the Magnus, bringing you another Total War Warhammer online ladder battle. Today my opponent chose the Empire, and I decided I would bring the Greenskins, which is one of my favorite counters to the Empire. I brought 3 of the Goblin Wolf Riders, 2 of the Orc Boar Boy Biggins, 3 of the Black Orcs, 2 Orc Boy Biggins, 3 Savage Orcs, 2 of the Goblin Big Bosses, a Goblin Shaman, Night Goblin Shaman, and we've got our Orc Boar Boss on his nasty looking boar there. So I did a main line of infantry, which is quite wide here, and on each flank I have my Goblin Big Boss out in front of my Orc Boar Boy Biggins. I find that's one way to kind of boost the effectiveness of my cavalry in when I'm fighting other cav, because the Goblin Big Boss can do a good job of eating up most of the charge. And my Goblin Wolf Riders I deployed in Vanguard up forward for vision purposes, and to see if there were any opportunities for me to get on anything early. Now let's take a look at what my opponent did. A very unusual way of laying out your army. I'm not sure what the thinking is here, but I've seen some weird stuff like this lately, so maybe there's something behind it and I just don't know what it is. But he's got the General of the Empire on one flank, and on the other he has an Empire Captain. Both of them are flying. And then in his main body here he's got the Great Cannon in the back. Up front he has 2 swordsmen. He has let's take a look here, 2 spearmen up front as well. And then in the back he's got 3 great swords. Good choice. He has 1 halberdier, he has 1 Empire Knight, 1 Demigriff Knight with halberds, and he has a light wizard as well, and I believe that's on a horse. It is. Okay, so not a composition I've seen a lot of, so I wasn't quite sure what to expect, but being a good greenskin, I decided, well, the best thing I can do is just start charging at him, so that's what we're going to do here. So the infantry line moves up, and with my cavalry and whatnot, I'm going to go and push up towards the flanks. And here I'm going to move these guys even further up, as you see there. My command come through. Now with this cav, I'm a little more hesitant because his cav's on this side, and I don't feel like that engagement will favor me, especially if the light wizard chucks down a Nad or does some other kind of crap. So I decided I'm going to kind of tuck them in here and keep them with my infantry. That way these orc biggins, who are good against large and useful in that regard, can support me. But for the time being, they're just going to keep moving forward to see what he does. Now I see him start to swing his cav out here on this flank, so I figure he's going to try one of these. So again, all the more reason to keep these guys tucked in. And the Great Cannon is an interesting choice, and it doesn't do a bad job, but I feel like the terrain definitely didn't benefit it here. Notice it's in like this defilade. They're kind of shooting up and over a hill. I never have much luck doing that. I spread out my Goblin Wolf Riders, but then I was busy microing elsewhere, and I kind of missed this Empire Captain coming in. But I do react, and this is not really important to me right now. And he's going to send over his General of the Empire. I'm fine with that. What I'm most interested in is getting this infantry engagement started as soon as possible, because I feel like I can win it. Not that my forces are a lot better than his, but I do have more, and I feel like the way he's laid out, if he's kind of static, then I can take advantage. And of course I've got Goblin Wolf Riders and Cav and stuff over here on the left that can supplement it. So this Goblin Big Boss is going to run. I failed to pop the potion on him early enough, no big deal. Going to kind of swarm the Empire Captain over here, because what I'd like to do is, I see his General of the Empire retreat. I'd like to just X this all out on the left side and not have to worry about it. On the right, he nets my cavalry like I was afraid of, and then he comes charging in with the Kitty Cat Cav. Thankfully though, the Goblin Big Boss gets the worst of the charge, so that's going to give my guys some fighting chance. In the pits, you're going to see me tossing down Itchy Nuisance. Always a great spell, that's why I love it. The Wah coming down from my Orc Big Boss, and as you can see pretty early on, I'm liking how the infantry engagement's going for me. and my Goblin Wolf Riders were able to chase his great cannons off of their off of their cannon. As you can see here, they are unmanned, and he probably was trying to tell them to shoot and ended up charging them instead. But we've all made mistakes like that. So a pretty hectic battlefield. Back here, he brings in the Empire Knights to support his kitty cat calf. Because I brought back these Orc Biggins to turn the tide against the Demigryph Knights, so that's looking good for me. It looks like he's also using the Light Wizard to support that fight, but I'm okay with that. Over here, his Empire Captain General of the Empire are going to fare pretty well against what I have, but they're not where they need to be, which is the middle of this engagement. He's going to try one of these horrible spells. I don't knock him for trying, though, because I do have this huge blob. Because his infantry just decided they were going to run in every other direction to get away from it. So I decided I want to concentrate on the forces that aren't running. This halberdier for spearman, for whatever reason, was never engaged. So a little bit of a micro slip there on his part. But you can see I'm making micro mistakes as well, because there's really 3 theaters to this fight, and I have a lot of different kinds of units, more than I'm used to, so this is above my pay grade as far as an army. But I feel like a simple composition with the greenskins just does not fare well against the Empire. So I'm going to use the Goblin Big Boss to pin down his Empire Knights, and then I'm going to get the Biggins in here, because they trade well with these guys. So they're just going to get those chappas out and start hacking on them. I love the Orcs. They're so much fun. They're just so cool lore-wise and just flavor-wise and animation-wise. And I don't know how many times I'm going to say wise, but that's a lot of wise. And here comes the big boy, just coming in, putting a smack down on these swordsmen. They had reformed, and he's like, do you really want to fight? Do you really want to fight me? Look how nasty I am. He uses another vortex spell, and unfortunately, it seems to only hit his own men. But all around, they're wavering. You can see the balance bar is heavily in my favor. He's taken just terrible casualties. We have not. His cav, which was his advantage, has been pretty much removed from the field in what I think was a very cost-effective manner, and his infantry just got bum-rushed. You know, between all the abilities that the War Boss has and the buff and debuff that you have with the Goblin Shaman, it's a lot to deal with, and obviously they couldn't deal because they're running. I think the only thing that's not running right now are his heroes and his lord, but they're going to reconsider that here shortly. So you're going to see, obviously, I'm focusing on each of them. The General of the Empire is definitely giving it the old college try, but even he realizes that the cause is lost and the decisive victory belongs to the green tide. Now let's take a look at how things went. This Orc Biggin did extremely well. That jumps out at me. I love 3 figures. Same thing with these black orcs. They did a really good job. The Goblin Wolf Riders, you never, unless you get them into missiles or fleeing units, you're not going to get a lot of kills. But I love the maneuverability of these guys, and for how cheap they are, how can you not play with them? They are fun. The Savage Orcs put a savage beating on the Empire as well. My Cav, for having faced Demigryphs and whatnot, they did fine. And so did the Goblin Big Bosses. They did what they were supposed to do. And the Orc War Boss put up good kills. Looking at my opponent, his leader squad did pretty well. The Light Wizard with the net was very useful to him. Just not enough. His infantry just got completely run over. The Cav didn't do anywhere near what they need to do. I mean, no matter what, unless it's 21 giants or something like that, your Demigryphs with halberds are going to have to do a lot better than that. And his Great Cannon didn't do well, and I think a lot of that was terrain. So good game to my opponent. Sorry about my phone. Until the next time, this is the Magnus, who apparently has a phone call. Good luck on the ladder, and we'll see you real soon.